I gotta ask with OBJ
now being out there, what's a recruiting pitch look like to get him to come to Seattle?
Well, I think first of all with Odell, obviously he's an unbelievable talent. One of world-class generational type talents, I think that for our organization, we're always trying to find ways to compete and trying to find ways to win and that kind of thing. But we got some great guys already too, and we got some of the best guys in the world already. So just to have the possibility of adding another amazing talent would be amazing. If not, we're still ready. We're still ready to go, hopefully all the way, and that's kind of our focus. But he's a tremendous talent.
You know him a little bit? Or?
Yeah, I've gotten to know Odell over the years. I mean, he's always worked extremely hard. We've thrown in the summer times, and all that kind of stuff in California and stuff, and have a good rapport with one another and stuff like that. So got a lot of respect for how he plays the game and all that.
What have you talked to him? You talked to him since he became a free agent?
Yeah, we've talked. We talked throughout the years, really, to be honest with you. Just about life and whatever, and just been good friends and stuff like that. And like I said, we've thrown a bunch together, so I know him pretty well.
What have these last few weeks been like for you? I mean, you never missed a game, hardly any practice, anything for 10 seasons, and then to be out this long, how was that for you?
It was definitely a challenge. I think adversity brings the best out of you, and I think that, for me, I definitely went through some adverse times with the hand and everything else, and, difficult moment. But at the same time, I also know that, I always lean on the scripture, consider it pure joy. James 1:2 says, consider it pure joy when you go through trials and tribulations, because the testing your faith that builds perseverance. And a few things that my parents and taught me is, knowing how to persevere, knowing how to get through adversity. And I think that I think first of all, the first thing is non-negativity, just trying to be completely neutral in the midst of it all, knowing that things happen. I'm also knowing that, I've been blessed to be able to play all the games I've been able to play, and and all the things I've been able to do so far in this league. And I think that I feel like it's a new beginning. I feel like it's a new start, and I feel like it's time to get going again, all over again. So I think that all the hard work, all the attention to detail has been amazing. I think also too, I think to be surrounded around some of the best people in the world, daily, obviously this organization and people around here, and also too just kind of my performance team. I mean, just to have Amy, my PT, with the amount of time. I mean, we literally probably 20 hours a day, 19 hours a day, we're working on this hand, just trying to break records with this thing, because it was a pretty severe injury, in the sense of how many things happened, And so I think that for me, my whole mindset was to cut the time in half, and that's kind of what my mindset has been since the moment it happened. And I think that to have amazing people like Amy, to be there every day, pretty much every second of the day, to also have some amazing people too. This lady named Mo, who's awesome OT, hand specialist, has been awesome. To be obviously Dr. Shin's the best in the world at hands, and to be able to work with him. And I think for me, I never lost confidence in where I was going to go, what I was going to do, and how I was going to get it done. And so I think that throughout the whole process, I knew, I was hoping, I kind of knew in my head, this is my goal, this is where I want to be, this and that. Just keeping my head in it, every day at practice, every day at practice, I got every single rep and some more. Just by staying on the side and just trying to mentally go through everything. I think obviously you guys saw the games, me mentally being in it too as well. But I think you got to have vision. You got to have the ability to play the game in your head. You got to have the ability to stand tall when it's tough, and also too, to be around great teammates. It's been an amazing journey. And so, really, the bye week was just God's perfect timing, just for me to be able to simply just kind of go into a shell and just, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get the pen out quite yet, but, just had to get confirmation. And so Dr. Shin said I could once he saw my hand again, and everything was going at an exponential rate because of all the treatment and other things we were doing. And so, all the innovative thoughts and everything else. And so, when I was able to get the pen out, I really wasn't supposed to throw for a little bit longer, but I was with my performance team, Tim Grover, and Amy was down there, Mo, just different people, and Coach OB, Decker, Andressa, and then and Coach Bible was actually there with me too. And so we kind of, Tim tossed me the ball, and I kind of tossed it back to him. He said, "All right, you can do it." So then I kind of looked at the ball again, of me. And so I just picked up the ball the next day, and just that day, probably 12, 16 hours after the pin, somewhere around there, maybe less, and just started trying to throw. And I had a plan in my head, and I even beat my own plan just by having amazing people around. So I'm grateful to God that I'm able to do what I get to do every day, but also to know that, I could do it with the passion and the joy. And the thing I think about it all too as well is, I've always loved this game, and to be able to find that much more love for it every day, because you can take your time. You can, and for me, there is no other option, And so we have a goal. We have a goal to win. We have a goal to win it all, and everything we want to do is right there in front of us. We got to take it one step at a time. I think that the thing in rehab, just in general in the process, has been that, you just take the next step. You just take the next step, the next breath, and so that's been a cool journey.
So you said cut the estimate time in half. Did they tell you originally 8 weeks?
Most likely 6 to 8, yeah, to be go. And so, I wasn't going to take the 6 to 8. That wasn't my mind.
Did you have multiple fractures in the finger, or was it one displacement, or how complicated was
It was pretty complicated, I don't want to get into finger terminology and that stuff, but I know it all now, I feel like. But basically, I had my mallet finger, the DIP, and then I had I dislocated my finger as well, and then I had two fractures in my finger as well. So it was kind of a nasty thing, and I got 4 or 5 different opinions and everything else, and I knew that Dr. Shin was the best at it, and that's the place I wanted to go to it, and he had a whole plan, and he told me the plan, and I was like, all right, let's do it. Prayed about it, and then next thing I know, I woke up out of it, and I felt like I had a new finger. My finger was straight. It wasn't crooked and going left and right anymore.
Close to 100% is the strength and flexibility of the finger.
Yeah, I feel great. I feel really close. I'm not 100% yet, but I'm pretty dang close. I would say on the 90 percentile, if not higher. So I feel great. I got great conviction about what I'm doing, how I'm doing it. My mindset's better than ever, ready to roll, and ready to go.
Did you know it was bad initially, or what was your thought, when you hit it on?
At first, I just thought it was just dislocated, so I tried to put it back in place. We tried to put it back in place. It didn't go, and then I was like, "F it, I'm gonna go back out there and try to see if we can keep going with it." And then threw another pass. I think I played a couple plays or whatever, and then just trying to figure it out. 'Cause I was trying to figure out what was going on, and that's what made it so difficult. Because there was a few things. It wasn't just one. It was 3 things. 3, 4 really, and So, I've played through some stuff before. I was always ready to, try to do everything else, but also I had great confidence in Gino and what he could do too. And he's been such a great teammate, such a great leader, in such a cool way. I believe in him. I think he's a great player, and I just knew that it's more important for us to have the best chance right now. And so that was that was the thought process.
Was it after the screen pass you threw where you're like, okay, this probably isn't going to work here anymore for the moment?
I was throwing. That was a good question. I was throwing on the sideline and stuff like that. I could throw, but it definitely. Definitely you could feel it. It was definitely hurting because it was still dislocated. It wouldn't go back because all the things that happened. So, but yeah, somewhere around there.
When is the last time you went,
4 weeks without throwing a football?
It doesn't. That's a good question. I don't think I've ever gone 3 or 4 weeks without throwing a football. But I think the thing that that was really critical in the process was, we never stopped doing the work. I was always lifting, I was always moving, I was always running, I was always preparing my mind. I was visualizing every rep, every defender, where people would be, and everything else. And so that was a big part of it too. And I think also as well, I just kept my conditioning up and all that, and so that was a big part of it. And then from an arm strength standpoint, I play a lot of baseball, know a lot of things, and everything else. So Amy and I were able to work on a lot of different things that she knew, I knew, and we just kept it strong and feeling great.
You weren't the only one that returned to practice this week. Chris Carson, D. Eskridge returns. What have you seen from them, and what do they bring to the offense and the playbook?
Well, to have Chris Carson back is huge. Just the physicality that he brings, just all the versatility that he brings. He brings such confidence to the field. He's a tremendous player. I think he's arguably the best running back in the game, and when he's out there on that field. And so it's a great thing to have him back out there, especially for the stretch that we want to be able to go on. I think that to have D. Eskridge back out there, I couldn't imagine all the different things he's gone through, but I have a little glimpse of it because my sister had, a really severe concussion, and she wasn't able to play right away, and so I know how devastating it can be for a person that loves the sport so much, loves the time, all the time that me and Dee spent, early in the mornings and everything else, and he had a great first game, and then boom, something happens, and he doesn't feel normal for several weeks. I was able to talk to him. I said, you need to take care of yourself. It's super important that you get your you ready and you back to just normal D again. And so that was a big part of it. Just told him, and I kind of mentioned to him about Dr. Matthew Antonucci, who my sister went to, saw Sidney Crosby, saw my sister, and changed my sister's life, changed Sidney Crosby's life. And so I said, yeah, I really think you need to go to see him, So, and I think, obviously I think he trusted me in that moment. And told him if you're my brother, this is what I would do. If it was me, this is what I would do. And Dr. Matt's the best in the world, and he went to go see him, and a lot of that time that he spent with him, I think coming back, he's D again. He feels great again. So he's done a great job at practice so far. He's explosive. He's smart. He wants to work at it. He wants to be great. And it's a long, amazing journey that you go on in this sport. And he'll go on it. And he'll be prepared for it. And he'll do it better than ever.
Russ, you guys aren't used to being under 500 at this stage of the season. What gives you confidence that you guys can turn it around and make a playoff push?
I think what gives us confidence is the games that we felt like we should have won. We really feel like we could really have a few more wins here. But things have happened and this and that, and I just think that we have great confidence in who we are and what we are and how we practice, and how we go about our details. And we got guys like Jamal Adams and Bobby Wagner on the other side making so many plays. Carlos Dunlap knocking balls down, and Q Diggs playing he's always played amazing football, and he's playing even better than ever. I think he's dominating the game. You got so many guys. The corners are playing great on the defensive side. I mean, just there's so many guys, and then offensively, we're making plays. We see guys like DK and Tyler making their plays that they've been making. We got tremendous tight ends, and I think that we can utilize them even more, just how good they are. I think about our running backs and the versatility of those guys. I think DJ Dallas has done a good job, really good job stepping in. I think, obviously Alex Collins has been really special this year for us. We got some really good things going on. Obviously, Chris possibly coming back. Freddie Swain has had a great year. There's been some really good things, and our special teams is kicking butt. So I think that we're doing all the right things. I think that there's just a couple more things here and there. I think we had some chances to close some games out early on that we feel like we normally do, and so just adjusting. And it's all a new season, new journey, new day, and we're just focused on that. And the only thing we can control is right now. And so I think that's why it gives us confidence, because we know what we need to do, and it's control today. And the rest of the stuff doesn't matter.
What'd you tell Odell Beckham?
Sorry, say it again.
What'd you tell Odell Beckham? What's your recruiting pitch?
well, I don't need to talk about all that, but I think the biggest thing is you want the best for him, and he's a great player. I think that we can do some great things together, just as a whole team, and what he can bring, but also to what the great players that we have, the dynamic receivers we already have. Just to have all those guys out in the field is a scary thing. So, he'll make his decision, and whatever that is, and so, I'm excited about what we have this week and who we have and what we can do, and we keep making the plays. It's been really spectacular to see our guys making so many great plays.
What was it like? Sidelines, Russ, watching the games.
Yep.
What was the most difficult thing for you to process when you couldn't influence the outcome?
I think the first game was the hardest game. The first game was the hardest game just because, I had a goal in my head, just be honest, I had a goal in my head to play the most consecutive games ever, and sometimes things change and life changes and, things happen, and I think it's how you deal with the adversity to be able to overcome and how to get, past things and grow through things. And I think that adversity changes us, and so I think that was probably the most difficult thing, because I knew I knew that I could hopefully impact the game, this and that, but I also knew that I wasn't going to be out in the field. So I did everything mentally that I could to prepare myself to be ready to play for the rest of the season. That's the mentality I took, and that's why you spend so much time doing it. So I prepared every day as if I was getting ready, and obviously the physical part and being out in the field and getting the reps as much as I possibly could for the rehab part of it all. But I think also too, just not being out there with your teammates. You want to be able to help them win as much as possible. But I think Gino did a great job, and he's been awesome. We're good friends, and I just believe in him. And so that was comforting to know that the Seahawks had a guy that I believed in too. So it's just like, okay, let's do this. Like let's go, like whatever I can do to help, whatever I can do to help us. When I'm on the sidelines and I'm up and down the sidelines, all intense and figuring things out, trying to, this and that. And so it was definitely a different experience. And you look at the game in a different way because normally, for however many games, 150 some plus games or whatever, I've been sitting back here and processing everything from there. So then I think I can understand the game from another perspective too. So it's, I think all of that, taking all that in and learning as much as I can. I've always said to you guys since the beginning of the days I got here, I've always been on a constant quest for knowledge and continue to learn as much as I can, see as much as I can, and kind of be a coach on the sideline as much as I can too, and understand that as well.
Is there something particular?
Pin?
Say again?
What was it like having the pin in your finger and having the thing sticking out at the end of it?
Yeah, Dr. Shin put that little white like tip thing on the top of the pin, because sometimes you can have the pin in there and just keep it in there and leave it there. Or also you can have the pin in there and not see it. And so we had he did the pin just knowing me. He was like, I'm going to leave that here because I know you're going to move around a lot and do a lot of things. So let's. I know you want to push this thing. So he kept that little white tip of the pin at the edge, so I could always know that it was there, and also people knew it was there too as well.
You said you get a different advantage from watching on the sidelines. Any particular takeaway there that you got?
No, I just think that we have a great football team. And nothing new. Just I think the biggest thing is just you get to see the game in a different perspective, and I'm processing the coverages from that viewpoint, and being behind the defense or being on the side over there, or really seeing the corner's feet, because normally I'm dropping back, so I don't get to see that in the midst of it. I get to see it on film, but I don't get to see it, and just little things like that. It's interesting to try to watch one little movement and one little thing, and watch how the safety moves and this and that, just from that perspective, and watch hand signals and this different thing. You watch all that from the quarterback perspective, and you see it all, and you process it all, and you feel it all. But to be able to be there, and the only part is that you can't do anything about it. You're sitting there, but you get to see what teams are doing and how they're trying to do it, and not that much different, but it's definitely different not being on it.
As you've been back at practice, is there anything that you've done, like any throw that you've made, or anything that you have to do as a quarterback where it's like most noticeable that you had the finger injury?
Most notable in a negative way, you mean, or what do you mean?
Just that you feel it, like, yeah, I just had finger surgery, like any throw or anything?
Not really. The first day I noticed, I was like, okay, all right, we'll get through this. And the next day, take the next step, next throw. And the first throw was, okay, I did a throw. And then the third throw, I was like, I'm just going to throw 3. And then 3 became 5 and became more. And then next thing you know, it was 50. and then and I just pushed through it, and then just kept it moving. Like I said, I had an amazing team with Amy and just the people around me too as well. It was just spectacular, to be around great people that knew what they're doing, how to do it, the best in the world, and just so no, there hasn't been a throw that I have great conviction in what I'm doing, and I can make all the throws. So I feel great about it.
Did you get good at throwing left-handed there for a little while?
I did get good at throwing lefty. I started throwing left-handed in the summer, and Tim tossed me the ball left-handed, so I started throwing lefty, And I used to say Michael and Kobe used to shoot lefty all the time, so I was like, start throwing lefty. So that was kind of my warm down. So we started throwing lefty a bunch, made it part of my routines, and then I threw lefty a little bit more.
Sorry if you were asked this already, but have you? Sounds like you maybe even thought about wearing a glove. Have you tried that out yet?
I've tried everything. I mean, I don't need to wear a glove. I don't know what the weather's going to be. Maybe we have to because of the weather or something like that. But no, I don't need to wear a glove. Hand feels great. Feel strong. Like I said, I'm ready. I'm ready to play. I'm ready to help us win. Do whatever it takes. And let's do it.
Workouts you did that we saw you do before the games and things like that. How much did that help you, I guess, kind of going through all that?
Yeah, that was a big part for me because I've always believed that if you want to be great at anything, no matter what the circumstances are, no matter what's surrounding you, you have to do what it takes to be great, And I think a lot of people choose not to because it's the easy way out. It's the easy way around it. That may not be the cool thing, or that may be this and that. But when you love winning in the process of it all, you'll do whatever it takes. So, I love the process.
Anything else, guys?
It just came final that Odell's actually choosing the Rams. Was he going to sign with them? What do you think about that?
Yeah, good for him. He'll do great. And wish him the best.
Just what do you see out of the Packers' defense overall, and then what has Devondre Campbell added since they had him this year?
Well, I think Campbell's been a dominant player for them. He's been all over the field. He makes all the calls. He does a lot of great things. He's all in it. He's a really, really great player. You know, he's been really good. I've seen him several times across the years, and he was great in Falcons days, and just different things he can do. So he's such a great player. So we got to know what he's doing and how he's doing it. Thanks, Russ. Got to run. See you guys. Go Hawks.
Thanks, Rick.